Yeah, sure. So my name is Roy Rao, and I'm currently with the SAP Startup Accelerator team for digital supply chain. And our accelerator is a accessible global accelerator for B2B startups. I joined the team last year, so we founded 2 years ago in 2016, and we have two offices in Berlin as well as Palo Alto. We're looking for B2B startups specifically in manufacturing, logistics, and asset management. So what our differentiator is, we work with startups to co-develop product with SAP products. So we're considered more of a vertical accelerator in SAP, and that's how we drive innovation to pair up with our product owners as well as our startups.
Yeah. Sorry if I didn't pay attention, but where are you located, based?
We're based in Berlin, and we have another office in Palo Alto.
Okay, Palo Alto.
Yeah.
Okay, and how does this exchange work? Is it knowledge, or do you also visit, or why?
Yeah, so we collaborate with our teams in in San Francisco pretty frequently. We consider it as one program. So we just have two different offices to cover different regions. Basically, Silicon Valley team look for startups in North America, and we look for startups in European market as well as Asia.
Okay, and could you say the ideas come from Palo Alto and are being executed in Berlin, or is that... Does it float freely?
Good question. I would say flow pretty frequently, and we primarily founded in Berlin, and we collaborate with Silicon Valley team.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, it is kind of like when you look at the costs, you would say it's not so effective to have an idea from Berlin being developed in San Francisco, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would say in our team in Berlin, we're more develop the corporate strategy programs, and we outlook specific startups, and our team in Palo Alto more focused on technical side.
Yeah. Really cool. Yeah. Because the clever minds of the world are coming there, right? This is this big jungle of...
I actually lived in the United States for many years, so I would say European countries has pretty smart mind as well as Silicon Valley. So we're pretty equally distributed.
Okay, okay. Very good to have this stereotype then addressed. Very good. Good for our self-confidence here in Europe. So Robert, Next 47, Siemens, of course. Which areas you focus on mainly?
I think first of all, Next 47, what we really do is we redefine venture capital and investing in startups in a new way.
Okay.
So we are a venture capital company powered by Siemens. So that really shows that we can act fairly independently, but of course very close to Siemens, would say, interest in terms of technology. Mm-hmm. Not so much in the short term, but really in the mid and long term. And that is where we invest. Yeah. So of course, we invest in advanced manufacturing, we invest in cybersecurity, we invest in robotics, advanced robotics, so in topics like vertical software topics, for example, when you talk nowadays about open source, and we invest in open source companies really to bring that into the mix of Siemens and of course also of Siemens customers. Comes that later. And of course we are global, so that means our headquarters is in Palo Alto, but we also have a strong footprint here in Germany with Munich, we're in London, we're in Stockholm, we're in France, in Paris.
Wow.
We are now moving into Asia, so with China and as Cedric mentioned, also into India. Yeah. So I don't want to go too much into detail because there is an announcement coming out in the next a couple of weeks, so therefore I just can mention it that we move into India, but we're already there. Yeah. So and it will be officially announced then shortly in the next couple of weeks. So
it's so cool to. I mean, during this week I've heard all kinds of announcements where people said, "Okay, yeah, this is not really official; it's coming out." But it's kind of like the wrong way to avoid the topic if you have me as a moderator, because then I would always ask, "Okay, how big is the fund? When it's going to open? Where in India? What's the focus? Come on." Share some news. They will now tweet it, and then you will get the biggest scoop ever.
But I can tell you how big the fund is because we have a global fund, so it's not a localized fund. So that means we serve our regions where we are active and the startups we want to invest in with this global fund. So I think the strongest region and the best startups get the fair allocation of this fund. So
you're too smart. You outsmart me. So what is your background? Because you say on the one side it's redefining venture capital, so you actually need to know how that works, but then you also need the knowledge in this very wide range of topics to know what you're going to invest in. So you must be some kind of superhero.
So actually, I'm not. So I must say, I'm an electrical engineer. So I worked for Siemens nearly 29 years. Of course, mainly in engineering, and then of course I had several global functions. And I got closer to startups when I lived in Canada and worked there for Siemens for 10 years. So very dynamic environment. That shows also in other countries like, let's say, US, you find great talents. So, but in X47, and that's also what Cedric says, we invest in companies. Then also we help them to grow and scale globally, and that is basically my task. I have no idea about, would say, investing in companies. So, but my task is with my team really to help startups really to scale globally, and I think it's also in our name, X47, 1847, and Cedric mentioned that. What did Siemens at the very beginning, even before they were incorporated? So they scaled globally. So Werner von Siemens sent one of his brothers to Russia and the other to the UK, to London, really because the market is bigger than Germany, so go global. And that is what we do with Next47. We call this function Catalyst, and then we have dedicated programs to scale the startups, and we use the Siemens ecosystem. That means, of course, Siemens as, I would say, a potential customer and also as a reference, but more importantly, we use a wide range of Siemens customers around us, really to bring startups to those customers, helps them to find real new business opportunities, and with that, of course, helps them to grow.
But do I understand correctly that your main added value for you, I mean, is to communicate this towards the outside world and then attract the right partners for your team to close the actual deals?
Yeah, that is one of our, would say, value propositions to a startup. So that they come to us. Of course, there's and that there's enough money in the market. So really good and strong startups. Of course, they have a lot of opportunities. But what they don't have is partners who open up the doors for them and who open up really customer relationships for them in the long term. And therefore, we're looking for those partners as well in the customer sphere of Siemens.
Yeah. Guys, I'm really having trouble understanding what they're saying, and that annoys me because we are here doing the panel. So can you please ask if they would, because I'm next to them, so I don't know if they can even hear. So, okay, so when it comes to SAP and your program, can you disclose a little bit more in detail what kind of deals, which phases, but also I would be very interesting to hear some examples of, if you then support a company, what happens then with a follow-on investment, or is it being integrated within SAP? Because of course, as a startup, it's always very difficult it's your baby, you want to keep it as close as possible, and then there's this big firm, there's always some anxiety. So how does this work within your program?
Yeah, exactly. So like Robert said, we invest company, but not financially. Yeah. So we invest companies in terms of product development. So like our accelerator purely focus on product development with SAP product, and we pair them up with our product owners and our customers and our partners, like Robert said, in the ecosystem, to give them access, give them whatever information they need to co-develop the solutions. So we don't take any equities, and we don't take any shares. We purely just want to build this ecosystem for our selected startups and to develop programs together.
Okay, but you have SAP Ventures.
Yes.
So there's never any chance that SAP Ventures comes into your program and...
I mean, of course, we share our startups and we collaborate, but their focus is more on identifying the startups to invest, and where our focus is to identify the startups to develop integrated solutions for our customers and for SAP. So that's why we are more of a vertical accelerator focused on different areas.
Yes, and there's of course an idea behind that. So why did you choose this format?
As you guys know, like digital transformation is such a hot topic, and we want to create corporate innovations in a different ways. And there are so many incubator, accelerator out there, and our goal is to really outlook the best talent, best startups to integrate SAP product. SAP has a wide range of products that serve our customers, and what we think the best way is to work with startups and to develop something new for our customers. So one example that I can give is just imagine in the manufacturing field to have one of the facility workers have a virtual assistant. And one of our startups in our portfolio is called Archite, which is a virtual human assistant to help workers to prevent human errors. And that's how we work with them. We work with them by integrating our SAP product and applications and to develop a new product together for our customers. So, yeah.
KPIs, how do you formulate them? Are there any different sets of KPIs that you have per region, or what does the structure look like?
Of course, we invest a little bit different maybe than what was described here, but because we invest in startups who have already a product market fit and also has the first customers. Of course, for the others who are going to the product market fit, there's a lot of opportunities to work with Siemens accelerators, and also use other Siemens funds. So, but we are at the phase where the startups are ready to scale. So, and they have to really be, from our point of view, startups with would say potential to disrupt, transform industries with their product, and maybe also a business model, or the combination of both. So a KPI is then very simple for us. So we take it really very, very simple. So how many customers and customer leads can we generate for the startup in a certain amount of time? So how is the conversion rate from this lead into real revenue for the startup? And how fast is the innovation transfer from the startup, for example, to those customers? That means, for example, to a Siemens user or to a Siemens customer. And with that, of course, we create for the startup the growth, but also speed in the process. And whatever we do when we have invested in a startup, so we are 100% founder focused. So we are not looking back and say, okay, what needs Siemens? We look, what does a startup need and how can we help the startup to grow? Interesting example from time to time, we have a startup, we bring it to Siemens, the Siemens guys say, okay, we're not interested, doesn't fit. We say, okay, fine. We go to other customers, they see it works in the market, they come back and say, maybe we revisit that, and then we take it. It's really a very open environment we create, but it's very important that we focus on the success of the startup and the success of the founders and the founder team of the startup.
Yeah, so maybe this is like, it's not such a sexy topic, but I think it's relevant for most companies, startups that are thinking about joining you guys. What about the paperwork? So how much time does it roughly take before you get something going together?
You mean with with us?
Yeah.
Okay. So of course we have a regular VC investment process. We decouple that from a normal Siemens M&A process. Of course, then when you go into that, of course.
Well, that's
so
I
then,
think a good thing. Yeah.
And I think that is why we also said, okay, we redefine venture capital for Siemens. I think SAP does that also with their venture capital arm and so on. So, and that is very important, really to have fast processes. So in the investment phase, it needs to be VC standard or even faster. And the other is also in the scaling, really fast processes, really to bring the startups into business. So that means we have to be as fast and as quick as a startup, and we cannot slow them down with our processes.
Okay, but between 3 and 6 months, or between 1 and 3 weeks, or?
Yeah, normally when we make a decision for an investment, so that is a matter of a couple of months. So and not a couple of years. So and it goes fairly quick. But don't get me wrong here. So before we come to a decision, we have observed the entire space of a certain technology field very carefully. And when we think, okay, we are ready to strike now, and we think that's the right partner for the future where we want to invest, then we can act very fast and grab this opportunity.
Very clear. Thank you.
And like our programs is 6 to 12 months long, and like we do have paperwork, but it's not take too much time. And we start our process with scouting and acceleration, and we have recruiting day and the onboarding week, and then the product integration phase. So like overall, it's 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, and it's only full-time, or do you also have part-time?
This is how we work with the startup is on the not full time, but we provide support on ongoing basis.
Yeah.
So
Okay, but the whole team has to be fully dedicated to this product that you then support?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, and then you...
Then we provide support. We connect them with stakeholders, all different stakeholders from SAP internally and externally from our partners.
Yeah, and when it comes to like the team, technical, business,
Yeah, pretty much sales, business, and technical product owners, and the startup team.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Are there any startups with questions that might consider the accelerator? I saw some hands earlier that we could not. Yeah. I don't have a microphone, but if I stand really near you, then.
I try to speak loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Yannick. I'm the founder of Everlean, and it's a tool to enable all employees to submit ideas very easily. We're not necessarily looking for investment, but to get into the companies more easily, to also decrease sales cycle times. Would you still be people to talk to, especially from Siemens, to enable us to get into certain departments quicker without the investment part?
Being frankly and open, so I think that's very difficult. So we really look for really investing in a company and really work with the company mid and long term and develop the company. So of course, if you say, okay, we are not open for investment right now, but we might consider whatever to look for that in the future, then it's a different topic. So, but of course, we bound and we connect our activities to investments.
Other question? I saw a hand, I believe, here, or? Question? No? Who wants to know more about the program? Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll always.
Yeah, but
ask
keep it
questions.
short now, Mike.
Oh,
Come
you
on.
know that's
No,
hard for
get
me.
up. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. For me too.
Okay. Can you help with the application process? Sometimes as a startup, we're overloaded trying to follow various leads, and it could really help just have someone sit down with you and fill out the applications.
For what? For the for getting into.
For both of your programs, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's daunting that when you want to get involved with a program, and then you're sent a link with a giant set of PDFs, and
Only in Germany
So,
or everywhere?
that's globally, actually, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
and I think maybe I also heard your first question. So first of all, I think for you technology, it's really would say a good recommendation to connect with our corporate technology department. So there is no application process for that. You need the right contact, and then of course talk to the right people, and then they define how they want to work together with you, and of course then things follow on maybe in the future about IP support and so on. So if you come to us as Next 47 for an investment, there's also no application process. So yeah, why? So we see you maybe, if we would see the company as a potential investment opportunity, of course then we talk. So and then we have to apply to you whether we can invest in your company or not. So it's called a term sheet. So and it's the other way around. So that's venture capital. So and there is no whatever application sheet here. So just to make that clear.
Yeah, we do have application process. We're addressing later stage startups. So in our application process, we're trying to make more transparent and efficient. And for startups, we're looking for a later stage, which means they have first batch of the customers and they already raised money. And I think what we're looking for is more focus on product and what's your core product and how can your product integrate with our softwares and how to solve new challenges for our customers as well as corporate partners. I think after you filled out the applications, we're trying to identify the startups who were interested, and then we will pair with you with our product owners to have to get more insight, because as I say, like our program focused on product development, so we want to involve our product teams as early as possible to have that understanding to work together. Yeah.
Super. The pitching startups in a couple of minutes are Trinkle, Sinflu, and Precognize. So if they could already get ready for our pitching round number 1. But we have a final question here. Very good question. Please stand up.
Okay. Sorry, I missed the first half part. Could both of you and summarize again how corporate can force their innovation strategy while working with startup teams? Thank you.
Just to summarize main lessons on the topic. So,
yeah, I can start. So at our accelerator, we work pretty closely with startups to bring solutions together with our product teams. Think about we invest in startups in terms of labors and human resource and our resources by co-developing softwares together for our customers. That's how we think we not only advance digital transformation, but also to build the ecosystem for startups.
One of the main lessons we have, of course, before we invest, really to determine and figure out, so is the startup really ready, from the product point of view and also from the team and also from the sales setup really to scale? And is there a true product market fit? So that's the first thing we need to really determine. And the second is, of course, later on when we start our growth and scale programs, so we have to really act very fast, very unbureaucratical. So, and then also make sure that the startup can follow the pace, because once you have success in the customer field, you have to deliver products or solutions, and we have to be very careful really to pace it in the right cadences, so that the startup is at the end not, would say, dying on their own success. Yeah.
So final question from my side, when it comes to like the collaboration with Asia Pacific, specifically, well, you will not exactly announce what is going to happen, but that you will do more in the future. Could you maybe, why, I mean, the future perspective on how this will work?
Yeah, I think first of all, when you see where the investment goes in venture capital, so China overtook the US last year in 2018, so you see that India is following. So yesterday I saw statistics that in 2010 you had in India 1 unicorn, now you have 16 or 18 already, and it's growing. So there's a lot of talent, and of course also there is an industrial base, so where startups really can grow. Startups, of course, from the region. It's not just India, it's the entire region. And then, of course, there's a huge potential also from, let's say, from the policy structure and setup in those countries, specifically India and China, that they really want to also to increase their capabilities to go into, I would say, industrial areas which are not driven by labor costs so much, but more by technology, and they have the potential there. And that is why we are going in these regions as well.
Yeah. So in the India panel that we will have after the pitches, but also in the China panel at the end of the day, we will really deep dive on this specific topics. But thank you for mentioning.
Yeah, and for us, as you guys know, SAP is a global company, so we're looking for startups specifically in Asia Pacific region, because there's so many startups and new technology out there, and we're looking for new solutions to work with startups and build the ecosystem for them.
Okay. Give a big applause for Robert and Roy, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.